I am Vansani, currently pursuing BTech in AI and ML. I am excited to announce that I will be starting a complete Python programming series on this channel, from the basic to advanced concepts, libraries, and eventually AI and ML learning. Subscribe now and let's start with learning and grow together. So now let's understand how to install Python and how to work on Python. So before starting Python series, I will let you know how to use Python 3.13. Just open your browser and type Python 3.12 download and just click the first link you got. Then go to the download option and then window. If you are a window user, then click on window and then download window installer 64-bit. And after downloading, just click on installer. After clicking on it, I have already installed it. There is an option that modify, next, install. Then it will directly install in your laptop. I have already installed it, so please try. And if there is any issue, just comment. And in your just open it by typing Python. Ideally, Python 3.13. This is the after opening it, I will check whether it is working or not by running a simple program print hello, then just enter it. So it's working. So now let's start unit 1. And as we know, we have already installed the Python version on window, and we know how to run the program on laptop. So now we will directly move on next topic, and our next topic is variables naming and their using variables. So what is the definition of variable? A variable is a name that refers to a value. It acts as a container for storing data value. Basically, variable is a container that is storing a value, and to store that value we use assignment operator. Indirectly, variables are created the moment you assign a value to them using the assignment operator. Python is a dynamic typed language. Means we don't have to specifically indicate that it's of which type. It is an integer type, character type, or a string type. It will automatically detect whether it is an integer data type or a string data type or a float data type. So that's why it's a dynamically typed language, and it's the best benefit point of Python. That's why Python is basically a very useful language because of this. And let's see some examples like message. Here we have message equal a string given learning Python. So here it will automatically detect that it is a string assignment, and after that n equal to 17, Python automatically detect it's an integer assignment, and the next one is a float assignment. In Python, there are some rules to name a variables. So to write valid variables name, you must adhere of the following rules. First, must start with a letter A to Z or capital A to Z or an underscore. We uh, we never start a variable with a number. This is the second rule. And if we talk about the third rule, uh, our variables can contain three things. First is alphabets A to Z, small one and capital one both, then digits, and then underscore. No special characters, no other special characters are allowed in Python naming of variable. Then if we talk about the fourth rule, it is a case sensitive language. Why Python is considered as a case sensitive language? Because if we see the example given in fourth rule, m small m y v a r and capital M Y V A R and capital M, capital Y, V, A, R. These three are all threes are different. They are different variable. They considered as different in each case. And the fifth rule is Python developers typically use snake case of variables name. This is because rather than using a difficult name to understand developer that what type of data we are storing, these type of snake case variables are used. Now if we talk about the keywords, what are keywords? So basically, keyword words are defined language syntax and structure. You cannot use these as variables name, and these are the words which have their meaning in Python language, like false, none, true, and, as, assert, break, class, continue, and so on. These are the words which have their specific meaning in Python language, and they have their own meaning, and they have their own work in Python language. That's why they are called as keywords. And we can't use these words as a variables, because if we use these words as a variable, Python automatically detect and consider it as a keyword, and maybe an error occur. So avoiding name error, a name error occur when you try to use a variable that has not been defined. Means whenever we are using a variable which we have not defined, then the name error will occur. Common causes are misspelling, refer to if we talk about the example here, the example is given of misspelling. We have two variables, MESSAGE and MESAGE. Let consider we take a variable name of MESSAGE and we are printing MESAGE. That's a misspelling. And the second cause is uses before assignment. Sometimes we use assignment later than we print before, and that time we feel that it's an error because we have not defined any variable and we are directly printing it, and after printing we are defining it. So next topic is values and types. So a values is one of the basic thing of a program, works with like letter or a number. The type dictate how interpreter treat the value. So there are some common data types in Python, like integers, floating point numbers, and string and booleans. Booleans are true and false, and strings are double quotes values, and floating points are decimal values. Integer points are uh, integer values. So in Python we have a function named type function, and we use it to check whether of which type this variable is. So we will use this in programming as well, and we will do some question, then you will understand. Now, so the next topic is statements, operators, and expression. What is statements? A statement is a unit of code that the Python interpreter can execute. So assignment statement. Statement is the whenever we are assigning a value like x equals to 2, it is a assignment statement. And when we are printing any value, print x is a print statement. We have two mode here: script versus interactive mode. In interactive mode, typing an expression prints the value directly. However, in script mode, whenever we are typing an expression, we have to specifically print it. We have to use print function so that we can print it. Now we have two new topics, and that is operators and operands. What is operators? A special symbol that represent computations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And what are operands? Operands are the values the operators is applied on which, and these operators are basically used to get the value and perform some actions between operands. Now let see some example of operators, and also after that we will discuss some questions, programming questions as well. Now see some operators. Arithmetic operators: addition, plus. It is basically it is used to add two values, two or three values, or many values. Here we have an example like 10 plus 5 equals to 15. This in this expression, the plus symbol is addition symbol, and next one is minus subtraction symbol that subtract right from left, and then multiplication is represented by a star sign, and it is used to multiply two numbers. After that we have division, division symbol, that is basically a slash, and it is a standard division, allows returns. It always returns float value. Like we have an example, 10 divides 2, it will give 5.0. Then we have a important division here, important arithmetic operator here, that is floor division. It will always give the nearest whole number. It will always give the integer value rather than giving a floating value. Like 10 double slash 3, it will gives 3, 3 threes are 9. Then we have a last arithmetic operator, that is modulus, and it will always returns the reminder of divisor. Like we have an example 10 modulus 3, and if we solve this question we will get a reminder of 1. Then the answer of this modulus is always reminder of two numbers. Now the next topic is order of operations. We have some rules, like whenever we have a big expressions, we have to solve according to this rule. And the rule is named as, I will learn this rule as PEMDAS. So what is PEMDAS? Python follows standard mathematical procedure rules. The PEMDAS helps remember the order. So what is PEMDAS? P for parenthesis, highest precedence used to force order. So the next one is exponent. After solving parentheses, we will solve exponent functions. Calculate next right to left, then multiplication, and then addition, multiplication and division, then addition and subtraction. Let's consider this example: 2 multiply 3 minus 1. Firstly, if we talk about PEMDAS, the PEMDAS shows that we have to solve multiplication first. So we will multiply first, then subtract. So 3 to the 6, then minus 1 equals to 5. So this is the overall order of operations, how to perform, how to solve an expression, big expression, using order of operations. This is very important, you should know about this. Thank you everyone.
Now, if we talk about the operations on strings, we have different operations, and here, while strings are text, Python allows specific mathematical operators to work on them through the behavior in different from numbers. So the first operation is concatenation, the plus operation. And what happened in this operation? The plus operator join or concatenates two string to end to end. Means if let's consider we have a first name variable having a string Python, then the second name variable of having my string of programming. Then if we join them by using plus operator, the let's consider we will make a full variable, and we will assign it with first plus double quotes space plus second. Then it will automatically concatenate or add these two strings in a single string and assign it on full. And after printing it, it will directly print Python programming. And the next operation on string is repetition, and the repetition is done by star symbol. And the star operator repeats a string a specified number of times. One operand must be a string, and the another one must be integer. Let's consider text equals to spam string is given, and we will make a new variable name result equals text multiply or star 3. It will multiply 3 times spam and add them together, and we assign them in a single string and assign it in a this variable result. And if we print it, it will print spam 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 3 times in a single string. You can't subtract or divide string or any other floor division operator can use in strings. So the next topic is composition and comments. So what is composition? Composition is the ability to combine simple expression and statements into compound statements and expressions. You can use the result of one expression as part of another. Example, nesting function means print text x, type x. So here first type x will execute, then print statement will execute. So next example is arithmetic inside argument. So here we have an example print 10 star 5. So here 10 star 5 will execute first, then it will print the value. So the next topic is comments, and the comments are notes within the source of code that are ignored by the interpreter. They are intended for the programmers to understand what the code does. So this is basically the lines of code that are ignored by interpreter. They will never execute it. and these are made to understand what type of coding we are doing or what we are doing in the line of code or in the program, so that the programmers can understand it easily. And we have two different we can comment codes in two different way. So the first one is single line comments. So start with the hash character, everything after the hash on the line is ignored. So the second one is multiple line comment. While Python does not have a specific multi-line syntax, three quotes, single quotes, or double quotes are often used for multiple line descriptions, that is known as doc strings, or multiple hash lines are used as well. So here we have example as well. So the hash symbol is used, then we will write this computes the percentage of the hours that has elapsed. So this is basically a comment we have we made in this program, and it will never execute it because this is a comment we defined it by hash, and then we just type the program, and here also we write a comment hash calculate percentage, so that the programmer can understand what type of programming or what we are doing here. Thank you everyone.
So hello guys, today we have already done, as we know, we have already done unit 1. So today we will do some questions of unit 1. So here question number 1, write the Python program to print anything you want. So, so how to print the values? So we have to just write print function, then brackets, and then the thing string I want to print in double quotes. And the next question, write a program to print your name, college name, and city on separate lines. So I will just print double quotes with my name, colon, one Shani, then enter. It will print the whole string as it is. Then print brackets, sorry, then quotes, and then college, then name, then colon, and LPU. So this is the syntax how to print a string. Make sure there should be no any error in the program. After entering, it will successfully print. So the next thing I want to print reports the city, CITY. My city is Shamli, SHAMLI. And I simply enter, it will print. So guys, this is a terminal, not the exact a new file where I can print the whole value there. So I am using terminal. Create a variable name, store your name in it and print the value. So simply I create a name variable and equal my string name once Sani. Then I simply use the print function to print the name, print directly the variable name. Sorry, directly the variable name, and it will directly print the assign value to it, and the value is 1 cent. Next question, create the variable age, course, semester, assign values to them and print all the values. So there are three different ways to print these values. So I will show you how to print these values. So I simply create three variable here, age equal 20, course equals to AI and ML. As you know, this is a string, so I use double quotes here. Then the semester is third semester. So I will simply use double quotes to write third semester, third semester. Then I can print these values by one as well. But here are different ways how to print values together in a single print function. So age, comma, course, comma, semester. This will print the values by just using a space. So here it is 20 space CAI and ML space thumb. So the next print age, comma, backslash n. So the purpose of backslash n is to uh, use the next line. So here it is line, then I will simply enter. So there is a problem in this way type. We got some spaces before some very before some like before course and semester, But how to deal with this problem? I will use two different ways. Either I will print the values single one by one, or I will use format or fstring. So another way I can use is print. I will use print function and then double quotes, and then I simply use %d for age. So %d is indicates that integer value, then backslash n, next line. Then I want to print string value, then %s, so then %n. Then I again want to print a string value, then %s. So after completing the string, then I will use %sign and write whatever I want to use, the whatever the variables in sequence. So age, course, semester, and then it will print as it is. After that, I will use another way how to print these values. I can use format function here. So print 0 curly bracket 0 backslash n 1 curly bracket, then backslash n, then curly bracket 2, and I will simply use dot format and then brackets, and I will simply write the age, course, and semester in the sequence as given. So here age is in 0 index and course is in 1 index, and it is in third index. So this is how create two variable a and b, assign any number and print them. There are some difference, product and quotient. So here I took two variables a and b. Then I simply print a multiply b, a star b, then print b slash a, and here I print b double slash a. So the next question here is swap the values of two variables without losing their values and print the results. So here we have two variables, a equals to 2, b equals to 3. So the simple way to swap two values is in Python is a comma b equals to b comma a. It will directly swap the value, and to check whether it's swapped, I will directly print the values, print a comma b, it will print 3 comma 2. There is another way as well. A equals to 2, b equals to 3. I simply add to these number in a single variable a. So a become 5, then b become 5 minus 3, b become 2. So b already become 2a. Then I will directly a equals to a minus b. It will become 3. So I will print and then the value swap. So the next question, write a program to check data type of the following uh, values using the type function. So here is the use of type function. I have already told that this is a very important. So I will simply write simply print type and the value you want to check. Then next value print type 3.14. The next value print type Python print type. So it will directly give the all data type. In question number 9, we will write directly make a variable a equals to 3 and then convert it into float and assign it values. Then simply print both values and their types. You know how to print types. Question says that I have to create two variables and concatenate both the strings. So I simply made two string variables, first and second, both have different strings, ones and send. So how to concatenate in Python? I can simply use plus operator, because string allowed in Python's strings allows us to concatenate using end to end by using plus operator. So I will simply use first plus quotes space plus second, and it will print once sending. So the next question is write a program to print the word Python 5 times using the repetition operator. So repetition operator is used to repeat single string many times. So I will simply print Python and directly use multiply sign with multiply by 5. So it will directly print Python 5 times if I will print. So This is the question. Next question, create a variable length, breadth, and then calculate print the area of rectangle. Simply, I will use two variables, length equal, assign two variables, breadth equal any variable, any values like 8, then print the value, print the area of rectangle equal, then bracket after brackets, length in breadth. So this is how to print the values. Please make sure that you will do such question many times so that you will become perfect how to print the values. This is the basic questions. So the next question, write a program to calculate simple interest using the formula PRT by 100. So I will simply take input now. So how to take input from user? Simply write P equal input and then write whatever you want to display whenever you want to, whenever user want to input. So enter price, then write the value you want to enter, x equal r equal input, then whatever I want to show to user. Here I will directly take the input from the user. So there is a problem in last question that if I took directly input, so this is a string type data type. It will not allow me to multiply or plus or divide anything. So I will use int input. It will implicitly convert the user values into integer value. So I took a input from user p and r. Then I will take the input of t equal int input. Whatever type of data I want to convert, I can use. Here you can use float, int, or str for string, so that you can convert those values into different data type, the user data. Then I simply print the values using, using this formula, print p into r into t, and this whole in bracket divides by 100 and the bracket. So after entering, this will be the answer. Again, I am telling that this is the terminal, not the new file. After some time, I will make new file and we will do some questions on that also. So in Python, we have seen that we can use a single line command and multiple line commands. So we can do that. So here by using hash, we can make the line comment. And here I've used many time that whenever I want to show you question, I just use hash and then write the question. So this will not execute in this program. And for multiple line, I can use triple quotes, single quotes, triple single quotes, and triple double quotes as well. These are the basic programming questions. So I suggest you please do some questions from ChatGPT or from other sites. Today we will cover the unit 2 of Python series, and here these are the topics of unit 2. And now let's start with unit 2. Basically, it covers all the condition statements and the iterative statements. And here is the topic 1, that is modulus operator. So the modulus operator works on integers and floats and yield the remainder when the first operand is divided by second. In Python, the modulus operator is the percent sign, means the percent symbol. So syntax and functionality. So the expression of modulus operator is A modulus B, and the result of the modulus operator is always a remainder of A slash B. So the what's the common use of modulus operator? So checking priority, even on. So we have used even we have used earlier this modulus operator, but here are some cases where modulus operators are used like checking priority even and odd. If x percent 2 equal 0, then x is even, and if it is 1, then x is odd. Another case is extracting digits. So whenever we divide x by 10 and it yields the rightmost digit of a number, means if we divide 123 modulus 10, it will returns 3, the last digit of the number. And then we can just divide the it divide it by 10, means double slash, then it will become 1 2 only. So here are third case, cyclic operation, useful for wrapping around values, means 24-hour clock arithmetic as or array indexing. There are some examples as well here. Print 7 modulus 3. It will return 1 as we divide 7 by 3. It will return the remainder. And same the other examples. Random numbers. So computer programs are generally deterministic. The same input produce the same output. So is to simulate non-determinize for games, simulations, or cryptography. Python provides the random module to generate pseudo-random numbers. So this is the module that is very useful to get random values. So the random module, you must import the module before use. To import the random module, we have to just use import random function, and then it will import all the function of random. So there are some key functions of random module. So the first one is random dot random and then bracket. So what's the purpose of this function? It returns a floating point number between 0.0 inclusive, means including, and 1.0 exclusive, means it will not include 1.0, means it will directly give any number from 0 to 1, including decimal values. So the next key function is random dot randint a comma b. So it will return a random integer n such that key n belongs to between a and b. It can be from a to b or a to a or b. So the next key function is random dot choice sequence. So it selects a random element from a non-empty sequence like a list or string. It will choose any of the value from list or string and then return it. So here is the example. First, we have to import the random function, and we can use the random keys values. So key functions. So firstly, we will import the random function, import random. Then we will simply take a variable named probe in which we assign the random dot random, and it will we know that random dot random function will give the value from 0 to 1, any value. So example, it will print 0.4 and the same another. So the third topic is Boolean expressions. So a Boolean expression is an expression that is either true or false. Python uses the bool type to present these values. Means Boolean values are either true or false. For Boolean values in Python, the capitalizations matter. Means if T is uh, capital and F is capital, it is important to write in capital. Then if we talk about the next topic, relational comparison operators. So these operators compares two values and return a Boolean result. Basically, they will return true or false Boolean values by comparing two values. So if we talk about the operators, so here we have many operators like equal to operator. So these are equal to operator. Example, s equal s. So this is true, it will return true. Then the next operator is not equal. 2. So the symbol is not sign and equal sign. So if we write 5 not equal to 3, then it will return true. Then the next operator is greater than. So it will return greater. If 5 greater than 10, this is false, then it will return false. So the next operator is less than. So we have an example like 2 is less than 6. So this is true, then it will return the true value. The next operator is greater than or equal to. So basically it will check the number, both the uh, left hand number is greater than or equal to the right hand one. If it is, then it will true, and otherwise it will false. And the opposite one is less than or equal to. It will return false because 5 is greater than 6. So common error are confusing the assignment operator equal with the equality operator equal. So equal single equal operator is used to assign values, and double equal is used to compare the two values. So the next topic is logic operators. So logic operators allow you to combine multiple Boolean expressions. These are three distinct operations like and returns true only if both operands are true. So here we have some short circuit evaluation in Python. Like if the first operand is false, then Python stops evaluating because the whole expression must be false. As we know, the and will return only true if the both condition are true. But if first one is false, then it will not check the another one. The next one is OR operator. So in OR, it will return true if at least one of the operand is true. So the here is the same case of short circuit evaluation. If the first operator is true, then Python will not check the another condition because this is the condition for making. This is the condition of OR that if at least one true, then it will not check another one. So not operator, third one, negate the Boolean values means if you will write something not before any or Boolean expression, it will return opposite of that values. If it is true, then it will return false, and if it is false, then it will return true. These are examples like x equal 5, and I'm printing here x greater than 0 and x less than 10. So this is true because both conditions are true, then it will return true. And here we are the same condition and same example you will check. So the next topic is conditional statements. So conditional statements allow the program to change its behavior based on state of variables. So there are different condition of statements here. And the first one is the if statement, the simplest form of selection. So the basic purpose of if statement is on the basic condition to check whether the condition is true, then it will execute. If the syntax of if statement is this condition, then it will run. And the alternative execution is if else condition provides two possibilities and the condition determines which one execute. Means let consider x equals to 4, and if x modulus 2 equals 0, then it will run this program, means print even, else otherwise it will print odd. So this is the case. So the another one is chain condition. It will allow us uh, when there are more than two possibilities, only the first branch will be the true condition execute. Means if let consider x less than y, then it will print first condition, and if x greater than y, it will print second condition, otherwise third condition. So we have nested conditionals as well. So a conditional statement can be nested inside another conditional statement. There is often used to check specific subconditions. So structure. Indentation is critical to define the hierarchy of the function. Make sure the indentation in Python is very important. It indicates the block of code of any statement or any structure. Let's consider some example as well. We have some example here. Like, so we have two variable x and y, x equal 10, y equal 5, and it will check if x equal y, then print. Otherwise, it will when the next condition, else condition. And we have nested conditions as well here. If x less than y, then print less, else it will print greater. So basically, this is the nested loop. And there is a note: deeply nested conditions can become hard to read logical operators and can often simplify nested if structures. So we can use AND operator as well instead of nested conditions. So here's the next topic: while statements, infinite iteration. So a while loop repeatedly execute a block of code as long as specific condition remains true. It is called indefinite because the number of iterations is not necessary enough before the loop starts. So you will understand it because when we will solve the question, for now you will take it as while loop is basically used to run a condition again and again until the condition will become false. So this is the syntax of while loop. While condition, then the body of loop, then must modify variable to eventually make condition false. Otherwise, it will leads to infinite loop. So components of a loop: initialization, setting loop control variable before the loop, then the condition statement checked before every iteration, and the update modify the control variable inside the loop to prevent infinite loops. So infinite loops, how it will come? Why we are talking about infinite loops again and again. So if the condition never becomes false, the loop runs forever or until memory runs out interrupted. So here the example as well given here. Let's consider we have a variable n equal 5 and we have a condition of while loop while n greater than 0. So this will run until n greater than 0. So it will print n. So here n is 5, then it will print 5. And we make n equal n minus 1. So why we are making it to become it less than 0 or equal to 0, so that it will false the condition of while and uh, out of the goes out of the loop and run the program clearly. So we have two functions here: break and condition to continue. Sorry. So break is used to terminate the loop immediately, and continue is used to skip the rest of current iteration and jumps back to the condition check. Means it will jump the current condition and run the next conditions. So for loop statement, definite iteration. So a for loop iterates over a specific sequence of items like a string, list, array, or range. It is definite because the number of iteration is determined by the length of the sequence. So for loop is basically similar to while loop. It is used for to run multiple conditions until the condition becomes false, but here it is definite. So this is the syntax for variable in sequence. And we have a range function in here. So this is very important. Commonly used for loops to generate a sequence of number. So range bracket, we have to write here stop condition 0 to stop minus 1. So, and the another one, range start stop. So stop will always stop here, stop minus 1. So range start stop step. You will not understand when I will teach you like this. So we will do some questions, then you will understand. Like here we have for I in range 0, 6, 2. So it will print I 0, then step 2, 2, then 4, then not 6 because it will run 6 minus 1. So the next topic is nested for loops. So a loop inside another loop. For every single iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop run to complete. So the complexity of these type of nested loops are, if the first inner loop runs m times and the second outer loop runs n time, so the complexity is n cross m. So example are grid or matrix travels transversal. Like if we have to, this is the example of nested loop. We will do some questions, then you will understand it carefully. So please note, this is the syntax of nested loop. How we make this nested loops. For x in range 2, for y in range 2, print x and y, we are using f string to print the values. So similar, we have nested while loops as well. So similar logic to nested for loop, but using while structure. These are more complex to manage because the reset logic for the inner loop variable must be handled explicitly. Means why these are complex rather than why these are complex but not for loop, because while loop we have to give the condition to make the while condition false. So sometimes we forgot to give that condition, and it will leads to infinite loops many times. So this is the syntax of while nested condition. I will do some questions. I'm going to tell you this again and again because we will practice, then we will know how to do these type of questions. If I will tell you and just speak in front of you, you will not understand how to do the questions. So here simply you will see the syntax of while nested loop and check how these are written. So the next topic is random numbers in loop. So we have already done the random module. We know how to use random functions and key functions of random module. So combining loops and random numbers allow for simulation, such as method or game loops. Example, guessing game. So there are many. There are many projects you will do in your higher education or after becoming Python expert, where you will understand the importance of in random module. These are some example. We will do some project as well using these uh, random module. So these are here some examples are already given, like guessing game, random walk, and others as well. We are not going to look at look on these programs. Simply, you just see the syntax and the type we are doing these type of questions. Like we are using while loop, if condition, elif condition, print condition, how to print conditions, how we are making variables. So this is another example, random walk, simulating a process that proceed in random steps. So you will understand. Okay. So here we have next topic, that is encapsulation and generalization. So basically, these are fundamental software engineering principles often introduced alongside loops to write clear and reusable code. So what is encapsulation? So the definition of encapsulation is wrapping a piece of code like a loop or log into a function. Benefit. What are the benefit of isolates the logic, makes the main program clear, allows you to name a process. So many times in your interview or in your exam, many times teachers ask what is encapsulation. So this is the definition, that wrapping a piece of code into a function is called as encapsulation. So code become encapsulation. So uh, as you know, we have not learned how to make functions. So we will understand this topic uh, better in functions topic. So wait for that. Then here we have some examples as well. Like we are using functions in for loop. So these are functions t dot forward, t dot left. These are functions. So we will make functions, then we will understand. Like the other example, code after encapsulation. This is another example. Like we are making functions, and inside that function, we have a for we are just calling the function, and it will execute that loop as well. So the next topic is generalization. So the basic definition of generalization is taking an encapsulated piece of code and making it versatile by replacing specific values, iterals like 100 or 4 with variables parameter goal to make the function applicable to a wider range of scenarios. Generalizations, the square function. So basic purpose of generalization. This is not important, but we should know. We are just increasing the length, or we are controlling the length of any program, any function by any program by using function. And this is the use of generalization to control the encapsulated function loop. So these are the basic topics of Unit 2. So thank you so much for listening carefully.